Hey, yo, and welcome to Just Saying episode 8. And first things first, because I like to believe I learn from my mistakes. But if that were true, I'd be a lot better at Rocket League. So first things up, can you hear me? And can you hear Bromeo? Can you hear Sean? Can you hear our guest panelist Nations? Okay, in case you didn't get that, he said, hello everyone. So nobody can hear. So Bromeo, are you muted in? Are they having us on? Or are you unmuted in Discord and muted in Ninja? Nations. Okay, so they can hear me, but nobody else. There's no ways. Hold on. Hold on. Is this me? I swear to God, if this is me. No, it's too late. I'm already panicking. I am beyond irritated. So give me a second. I see what the problem is here.
So that I can write.
Okay, I think we're sorted. Can
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Everybody talk. Oh,
okay, wait. Floki can hear me now. Brilliant.
Hello.
Okay,
wait,
so
but they want to hear Nations talk because Nations has got that sexy Scottish accent.
Go Nations.
Big fan, but I do have a room invader. Can I ask what you're doing?
Okay, so things are getting interesting. If we sort out our tech issues, Just Saying episodes will be a lot shorter. So while that's getting, that person wasn't naked, were they? Thank goodness the light is low. Okay, and oh no, what's going on? This is, oh my word.
Oh no, we lost him.
This is great. Okay, good.
So just guys, just so you know that in Scotland, if somebody taps you on the shoulder, it is obligatory to leave immediately.
Nations, are we sorted?
Yes, believe it me, I just turned around and she's behind me and scared me. I don't know why. I had no indication she was there, so I do apologize for that.
Okay, well,
Yes,
I've just turned Nations up a little, just so he's now loud enough. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Just Saying episode 8. We are off, and we have a lot to bring you. There's a lot going on this week. There's a lot that happened last week. There's a lot that's happening in our immediate future. But I guess the first thing we should be talking about. Oh, look at that! I got a little ahead of myself there. So let's get rid of that.
No, there he is, mystery man number 5. Wait! Before we introduce him,
yes.
Chad, do you know who that man is?
Okay, so say nothing, mystery guest. So, chat, who's this? Who's this that we got that we're about to introduce to you? Any guesses?
Mystery
Like
guest,
at least
that's
5
good.
guesses. You know, maybe
He looks
4.
he looks like a John, honestly.
John.
Well, while they are guessing, I realize with all the technical issues, I didn't say hello to everybody properly. So Bromeo was in chat, so was Silver. No Yoshi. Someone called Yoshi. Make sure he's okay. He hasn't arrived in the stream. Hello Clerks. Hello Noble Chernobyl, the Dog Man, Charizard, Yo-Yo, Mr. Yo-Yo's here. How's it, Flossie? And if I missed anybody else, I think I got all.
Wait,
I think I got.
Wait, did you just say Charizard?
Charizard. That's what it looks like to me. What's it?
It's a bloody Pokemon, bro. It's Charizard.
Okay, I have no idea what Pokemon. I don't even know what Pokemon is, man. I have room in my head for one cultural thing, and okay, well, whatever that correct saying is, that guy, Flossie, Demonics, and who else? Tubbsy's here. Hello, Tubbsy, and Chase. Charizard. Is it Charizard or Charizard?
It's Charizard.
Graybeard, I've lost respect for you. Okay, so what am I supposed to do with that now? H. Okay.
You need to read up on your Pokemon, man.
Okay, then in that
Part of our
case,
national identity.
and
think
iFly
Pokemon's older
Aware
than
is
you,
here.
Greg.
Okay, well, since I have zero respect from chat, Romeo, over to you. Talk to us about Rebellion.
All right, so I promise no Pokemon were harmed in the filming of this episode, but we did have a very busy weekend of Rocket League, and it's something that we tried to set up for a while. We spoke about it a little bit yesterday when we were filming the finals of the RSC Rebellion, and I think it was a really, really cool initiative. I'm so glad and grateful to everybody that got involved, all the teams, all the players, all the managers, all the background staff. It was a lot of fun to put up, but we filmed the finals yesterday. We streamed it. Just in case you didn't see it, it is on the VOD. But we started off with Prospect, and we made our way down the line through a best of 7 format till every single tier was represented. And I'm sure we will have a look at the results shortly, but unfortunately there were no successful insurgencies, or fortunately even, for you league players here. Bomb Squad and Brodenite took the largest amount of spoils from the day. Prospect beat Bomb Squad beating out Rejects, Brodenite in Rival beating out Alliance. That is Flowsy's team, just in case you didn't know. You can't see his logo here because he didn't win, but he did get involved. And Elite and Master was a battle out between Bomb Squad and Brodenite. Brodenite taking Elite, and in Master, Bomb Squad taking all of the spoils.
And yeah, so Bomb Squad bracketing the whole thing, coming out top in Prospect, top in Master, and Brodenite dominating there in Rival and Elite. And it was, and again, shout out to, it was the three of us, and by the three of us, I mean me, Bromeo, and Sean, running that stream on absolute fumes. Bromeo had not slept, Sean had just woken up, and I was as technically efficient as I am always. So it was literally on a shoestring budget. We pulled out the stream, and it was the Rocket League itself was enormously entertaining. 3 of those series went as far as Neo Tokyo Game 6, where they ended, and then the Masters going the long distance all the way to Champions Field. Out of a potential 28 games of Rocket League, we got 25, and from that point of view, from the entertainment, it was an absolute delight, and welcome, and thank you to everyone who participated. They made it a wonderful event.
It truly, really was cool. And I mean, 25 games of Rocket League in a row was an absolute treat. There were many clips. And speaking of clips, later in the show, we're going to be talking about that fun stuff as well. But I really want to see if anybody in chat has managed to see yesterday's stream. If they've got a favorite goal, let us know. There was that redirect from Potato with a gun, which is probably going to take my vote, because I think what was that, 147 kilometers an hour straight shot at goal. It was absolutely wild.
147. The goalie, I am convinced that if the goalie had been there in front of that shot, one of two things would have happened. He would have been pull shot into the back of the net, or he would have been demoed, and probably the first ever demo of a ball. And
that would have been wild, no, truly.
Eben Fenter brings up a good point. Drat playing for Rejects. They didn't win in the end, but he was a player that caught all of our eye.
Yeah, he was so good. He was scoring. I can't remember how many goals he scored, but every time he shot at goal, it just seemed like it was going to go in. And it is a pity that he is a permanent free agent. Otherwise, I'm sure he would not be in the FA ranks for very long.
And then it occurs to me that an important agenda item has been missed, because we're going to introduce our mystery guest in a moment. But with all the technical shenanigans, we didn't say a proper hello to our guest panelist for the night, Mr. Nations, in the dark of Scotland at the bottom of your screen. Hello, Nations.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We almost didn't with all the technical stuff. So how we generally run this, you are more than welcome to jump in at any point, but we're gonna wrap up on Rebellion with our invited guest to talk about that, and then we're gonna come back to you, and I'm sure Bromio's got a bunch of questions for you. And Bromio, I hope you can share some of the light you have. You have a lot of light, Bromio, and Nations has very little. No,
there we go. We don't have light anymore.
Do you know what? Now that's now that's proper smoky, and that's setting the right mood. Nations is a little bit too deep on his mood, so but we'll come to that in a second. But I think it's time, now that you've seen the Rebellion results, to bring in our mystery guest, and that is Silver. Hello, Silver.
Hi, GB. How are you?
I am excellent. And the reason we're getting Silver in, and Bromio, you're going to talk to this a bit more. But first and foremost, I shouted out myself and Bromio in short for putting together the stream yesterday. But Silver also jumped in pretty much the last minute and took on the role as match admin. And match admin is setting up the lobbies. You're getting the players into those lobbies and making sure that it runs as smoothly as possible. And he had never been a match admin before, and he did an astonishingly good job. So also, Silver, a massive shout out to you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
All right, Bromio,
So,
I'm gonna let you take this one.
Yeah, no, happy to. And I spoke about it a little bit yesterday at the end. Dreams caught it, and I'm repeating myself. Apologies for that. But I just want to take a little bit more time to chat to Silver here. So Silver is originally a season 1 veteran. He was with me in the first Prospect Bro side that went completely winless for our entire season. Luckily, for him, he moved on to bigger and brighter things, because in season 2, you started your own franchise. That's correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So the name of that franchise is Azura Gaming. It was one of the SSA squads, and I can't remember exactly how you did in the standings in season 2. Just take me through that quickly.
So in season 2, we had our ups and downs. I think we lost only like 3 or 4 games. We made it to playoffs, luckily, and then we just, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the mentality or we had a different game plan strategy or whatever, but we just crushed it, and we took the first place of the RSC season 2.
Which one was that? Because that was Prospect, right?
Yes, that was Prospect.
That was Prospect, because overall, I think it was either Bro or Valkyrie who claimed the totals. But that is still a mean feat. You stopped a rampant DSQ in their tracks. And I don't know if we have any DSQ people in the chat today. I know that Nations might have something to say about that just now when we talk to him, but that is some past trauma. We won't go through that just now. The reason why I wanted to talk to you tonight, Silva, is because at the end of season 2, you're like, yes, I love this. We're gonna do this again. Come season 3. I get a message, I think it's about 2 weeks after franchise applications have closed, and he's like, Bromio, how do I sign up to be a franchise? And I'm like, well, if you did it a month ago, that's how you would have done it.
That is true.
So unfortunately, Azura did not feature this season in RSC Season 3, which is a pity. It is a crime, given the fact that you took Prospect at the end of last season. But that allowed you to do something quite special, and it's something that's very close to my heart as well. Silver here, instead of saying, bugger it, throwing in the towel, we're not featuring this season, Silver, you decided to take a proactive approach and started picking up free agents. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so with that, obviously it was a pity not being here in the season 3, but me and Jakes were talking, saying, listen, we can come back with season 4, and then we just come back stronger. We grow our community. We set out some game plan strategies on what to do to grow the community and to be more part of RSC. And then we had this idea. Me and Eben slowly started talking about how can we find more scrims. So the original plan was just to get more scrims, because for some reason, I don't know why, with every season of REC, it was getting harder to actually get scrims for any players to be able to practice and warm up. And then we just talked, and then we're like, okay, if free agents are available every time, because there are free agents and permanent free agents, so let's use them since there's nobody else that we can use. And then we just started, even started a Discord server, and then he invited a few people, inviting me, and then I was like, okay, I approached Evan. I said, let us Euro merge with you, and then because we are a bigger community than his Discord, and then also a bit part of RSC with a bit of background and everything. Let me help you to be able to take this further. And then after that, we grew immensely. It was really, really great seeing how so many free agents are able to play and having fun and still be part of the community, not just leaving it after not getting drafted. But yeah.
No, that's truly awesome, because here's a little stat for you. We often say, 250 players sign up to play RSC, but the reality of the matter is that each franchise has 4 tiers in it, and each team has a squad of 4. That means that there's 16 players in each franchise, and there's 10 franchises, which means there's 160 signed players at any one point. So that means that there is 90 players who either are permanent free agent or didn't make the cut to play in RSC. 90. So the reason why this is so close to my heart is because the season shouldn't be over for the player if they don't make a team. And what Silver here has done, and I'll share it with the rest of you guys, is he has squatted up a whole bunch of players across all tiers and offers scrims against league teams just to keep players playing. And I think that's absolutely fantastic, because everybody deserves to play. And I'm interested in, and this is a question I wanted to ask. How many players, after scrimming with you and Azura, Silver, have been signed back into franchises after having played for a while?
I'm not entirely sure. I can maybe say roughly maybe 5. I haven't got any feedback of any players that has been signed. I know of a couple, but I'm not 100% sure how much.
No, that's fair enough. It's just I find it really, really cool that these players keep playing, and that brings us into this RSC rebellion, because the entire premise of it was getting these free agents to buckle up to play against the league players. And you were talking about success in your prospect team in season 2, and you carried it across into this tournament with the reject side going up against Bomb Squad in the prospect tier final. And I think that's really, really cool, because you're playing up against all of these players who are signed to league, and this is just a scratch together free agent side. So how happy are you with the way your teams fared over the weekend?
I have to say I'm surprised also to see how committed they were. Because Drat, he was like enjoying it the most. And then I have to say, so Eben and Jakes was the GM for the franchise of Rejects, and then me and Flace was for the replacements. Unfortunately, the replacements did not do that well, but at least the Rejects, the first official team that we focused on when we created this whole free agent, permanent free agent thing, got into like the finals, and we were like really surprised and proud of the players committing and just being able to still have fun and be part of this RSC, and just being part of the community.
I mean, that's awesome. And I think ultimately, what this is that, RSC is a community initiative first. It is a game that we all play because we want to play Rocket League. So I cannot even extend my thanks enough for what you've been doing this past season, Silver. And I'm pretty sure you're going to apply again for season 4 of RSC. But either which way, I truly hope that what is happening with Azura and the free agents continues, because I think it is so important. And I'm sure Greybeard will agree with me, and Sean, when he's having a good day, will agree with you. And I mean,
What's that
even
supposed to
nations at
mean?
the bottom.
What's
Well,
that supposed to mean?
I have to say, I'm a little bit conflicted about Silver signing up as a franchise next season, because I would love Silver to get more involved in helping us run this whole mad show. And if he's running a franchise, he might not have the time. So I'm a little conflicted. I just want to put it out there.
Jimmy,
Or not
I
exactly.
can do both.
Uh,
For
Bro,
you,
you-
I will try and do both. I mean, luckily, it's not only me that's running Azura. Luckily, we grabbed in 2 more partners to help us with this Azura and taking further. So we have a couple of hands to help with the franchise. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, and I mean, next season, I really want to be more part of RSC, seeing how I can help grow the community and see what new things we can come up with.
All right. Well, you've said it live. You've said it
Yeah,
live.
that
We're
is
gonna have
true.
a VOD.
No, you made some commitments, man, and GB is busy clipping this right now.
Yeah.
When
Yes,
he
yeah.
signs up your work contract.
No, but brilliant stuff, Silver. And
Uh,
thank you once again for jumping in yesterday and being so involved with the rebellion thing. It's been really cool. Well done.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, Silver, thank you. And now we're gonna finally get Nations to talk. He's said almost he's been sitting quietly there in the dark. So Nations, hello, welcome. Thank you for being a guest panelist. And start things off by saying, who the hell are you? Why are you here? And how did you get involved in RSC in SSA?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me join the handsome crew of my name is Nation. I am the GM of DSQ Sports. How I got into RSC SSA was by the owner, who is a very fond friend of yours, Greybeard, Tavish, who messaged and basically said
another crazy Dutchman.
exactly, and he basically said to me, RSC SSA is starting. I want you to this into SSA, and I thought, I guess I'll have to try. I've never experienced SSA in my life, and jumping into the season 2 was one of the best experiences I've had, because the amount of people I talked to and just the community itself, it's so tightly knit that everybody is lovely. There's no issues at all, and there's no animosity towards each other. A lovely thing.
You clearly haven't spent enough time with me.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
sure,
no.
yeah, okay. Let's try and stay away from ultra cynical Sean.
So I've obviously got a couple of questions for you that we'll ask as we go along our merry way of things. But just in case you didn't hear, Nations, he is the GM of DSQ. It is one of our EU-based franchises in SSA. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun this evening, poking and prodding his Scottish self with some questions so that, we can find out his perspective on our little tournament on the southern tip of Africa.
Yeah, and well, from my end, we're thrilled to have you, and you guys are doing very, very well. Definitely one of the franchises that's keeping everybody on their toes. So I think, Sean, we're pretty much ready to get into the week that was week 6 results, and then we can see what Nations has to say as we go along.
Sure.
Sure.
Well, sure, if you want.
Sure.
So,
I guess.
All right,
you know, if you feel like it, I don't know if you want. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to get the league database up. We've just
We
had
have it ready.
week 6, and will this work? I think it will. Bang! There it
Romeo?
is.
Would you like to
Hey.
cover prospect and rival for us, Mr. Bromeo?
Oh,
No,
is
I'm
it because we lost 4-0 this week? Is this why you're asking?
Yeah,
me to
I want you to explain to the public why you suck still, and
So this is traumatic for me, but let's give it a go. I think Prospect is shaping out, in a number of different ways for different teams. You can see the likes of Dynasty, DSQ, and XP. They're having absolute flyers of a season. They're on 17 and 16 games won respectively. So you can see that in their results. XP taking down Accelerate 3-1, very good victory. Dynasty taking down Crusaders 3-1. And DSQ sweeping Obscurity 4-0. So I honestly think we're starting to look at our season contenders here: Jokers, DSQ, Acacia, and Cubs. They are looking incredibly good, but do not discount Critical Force as well. They took an unfortunate loss against Brotato this week. The much maligned Bros side have been having a tough time of things, and this is their first victory for the season, having only posted 3 draws and 2 losses prior. So that is an interesting turn of affairs and spicing up the middle table. So I love those things. Tswana also posted their first victory of the season. Unfortunately, it was against my Prospect side. We got drubbed by them 4-0. I will speak about it at length with my therapist, so we don't have to talk too much about it here. Needless to say, Tswana was very effective, led by the very charismatic French Mauritian, Alex de Fatak. Nations, you would remember him in that Prospect side that made it all the way to the finals last season for DSQ. I don't remember, if you remember, but they came second. And
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. No, I do remember that. Well, I'll continue. I'll continue that later on. But I'll let you have your wee dig.
But so Alex has had a bit of a mixed bag of a season so far. Obviously not led by the very charismatic Nations himself. He doesn't have the DSQ buff. So you've spent a lot of time with the players this season, Nations. How does this prospect table look for you?
If I'm being honest, to me it's more of an upset. Well, not particularly because you're at the bottom, but for more at the
Wow.
bottom, for more in the sense of bro. I thought
You're
coming
easy.
into this season they'd have been higher, but results aren't coming their way. They won 3-1 this week, of course, but the results previous weeks haven't shown me where they should be standing. Obviously, with my Cassia team, I can say that they started off slow and they've started leaps and bounds. We signed Eben from Unity, and since then the teams have let leaps and bounds. But no, the table for me isn't what I expected at all coming into this week.
No, truly. I was also having a look at it as well. I was expecting Brotato to be doing a lot better. Critical Force started off so strongly, and they're only at 13 games won now. I mean, look, there's still times to turn it around. We've only got 3 games left. Because these are week 6 results. We've got 7, 8, 9, and then we're in playoffs. So you'll start to see people vying for those top 2 spots to secure themselves immediate playoffs, and then obviously within the top 6, because that allows you access to the play-ins, which is essentially just a semi-final on a semi-final. So Britato are fighting it out with Tswana currently for that 6th position. And truth be told, anybody can make it through at this point. Crusaders and Trollers have a bit of a mountain to climb, but I do think that any one of these teams this season still has it in them to post an upset.
Well, the basic math here is that there's 12 points available for every team, and there are 11 points that separate bottom with top. So mathematically, there's all sorts of shenanigans that are still possible.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Bromius is trying to pat himself on the back here. That's what's
listen,
happening.
everybody
that
needs a
was
bit of
great,
cope. Otherwise,
No.
why get up in the morning?
I want to see it happen, though, Bromius. Stop telling us this shit every time on a Monday in a podcast and actually do it for a change.
Okay, Dad, I promise I'll make you proud. Oh, man. But you're in week 7 now. You need to switch us over to week 6 so we can have a look at the rival results.
That I can do. There we go.
I think Nations, we'll let you cover this one because it looks like Viola's doing great.
Yeah, so coming into this week, we heavily focus with him. We've got a few coaches to help with him since I can't remember what week it was. Tubbsy left us for another roster, and we've been working slowly with him and to see where they were mentally and just performance-wise to now, leaps and bounds. For me, they're the team to beat because I don't think I haven't seen a scrim nor replay that I've seen them struggle. So I'm hoping they continue this run.
Well, there's one.
Shauna, yeah, no,
Go
ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say there's 1 point between Prolific and Viola, but only 2 behind Jax. My team, and I think with the 12 available points we have left, we will make a proper run at DSQ here in Rival.
So Rival for me, Rival's looking wild. There's only 5 points separating 1st and 6th. So,
wow.
And what's even wilder is that there's only 4 points separating 6th and 9th. So that's a game, 1 game. That's a sweep. And anybody can practically make it through except for Friday's much maligned Vanguards because they are not having a good time of it, posting 5 losses and a draw. So feasibly, they can still make it through. They've just got to do very, very well in their last 3 games. But again, Rival is another tier where it's still looking pretty close.
A fantastic result from Shadow, though, over Prolific, because Prolific have been terrifying, and Shadow have been struggling. Nightfall there, but getting a draw, which I think was a massive result for them.
No, that was huge.
Sorry, I'm cutting in here. But Vanguards especially is going to be tough because they're coming straight off a roster rebuild because their whole roster basically disbanded. I think it was the week before. And this week last week, they fielded their new 3 players against now Viola, which is sitting pretty much top seed. So it was a bit of a trial by fire, I suppose.
But having a look at the other results, there was a mid-table clash versus Climbers and Momentum XP versus Redirect. Climbers claiming that dub. Jawler's posting a draw with Galvier, which also, cements both teams as sort of, middle tablers at this point. Jawler's only posting 2 wins and 4 draws, and Galvier posting 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. So it is a bit of a mixed bag season for them, and it must be said, Jawler's sitting in 4th position, even though they're undefeated. And I'm sure this has been mentioned before, but that is absolutely crazy.
Well, there's a few teams around who are trying to draw their way to success. with kind of mixed results there. But I mean, I think we'll see it later. There's teams that haven't won yet, but have had a lot of draws, and they're sort of sitting okay in the table. So that's one strategy.
I mean, it's a strat if you have it. I see your team there, Shauno, the Jacks. They're currently sitting in third place, but again, there's only 5 points separating first and sixth. So it's insane. So that's just a game. Two comfortable wins, and you're top of the table.
Fair enough, but it is going to be a bit tough because sadly we got unfortunate news regarding Complex, and kids be kids, and when they don't get good marks, their parents get involved.
Oh my!
Oh no!
So we might, unless I can somehow figure out a way to maybe reason with these parents, we're going to have we're going to have to change a few things.
Well, I am available, and my parents are cool.
That's great news, Greybeard, because you should get your ass back on that damn field and do your damn job.
I'm there.
Jimmy's mom said it's cool, he can hang out, but that's obviously great news for everybody below Jax, because Complex has been an absolute menace. He featured very heavily in the win for Brodenite this weekend. Obviously, Brodenite took the Rebellion rival tier, and that was off the back of some really good rotations and some solid plays by Complex. So if you heard it here first, Complex, thank you for your service. Sorry your mom said no.
But negotiations will still happen. And Splashy in chat, he says he's going to cry because his first season hasn't gone so great. Who's Splashy?
He's part of Fort Templar Elite.
Okay, well, speaking of that, here we are. Centurions, ouch. Yeah, okay, Splashy, we feel you.
Yeah, no, I feel so terrible for Friday because he comes in and it's the season is filled with promise and hope, and then life just sometimes hands you a Fort Templar lineup, and
and everybody just stripped it apart from him.
Yeah.
So it was quite unfortunate. Sadly, poor Friday, everybody used his rosters as pretty much their personal pool to try and poach off of.
Ouch.
Ouch. I don't feel bad for Friday. He gets enough love and attention from other leagues. This is bringing him back down to earth. I like this.
Okay, wait. So are you telling me he does better in EU?
I need a lawyer to comment on that. But for me, it is very surprising seeing Fort Templar the way that they are. I know them. I've known them for a long time now. They're a very prestigious org. To see them fall this far from grace, I'm very surprised. And I'm sure that Friday can take some tips from myself when he needs to.
Well, I'm pretty sure you could now say the fort has been toppled.
Ooh.
I can't
but
say that.
Here's a quick one. Friday, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on here so you can respond to these heinous allegations. And we'd love to hear it from you first. The challenges of running a franchise, and especially when poaching has been a bit of an issue this season. Legal poaching, they say. It's not really poaching, it's just trading players. But if there ever is a rule change, we're probably going to call it Friday's rule. So
well, Friday is in chat.
No, Friday is in chat.
Friday, come join us next week.
Of course.
So Friday, we would love your written permission here to interview you. We'd love to have a chat with you. So that you can return, some of the smack talk that Nations has dished upon you.
all I'm going to say is Friday knows I love him. Friday knows fine well that I do love that man.
All right. Nations backtracking a little. He's clearly had his lawyer having a word with him.
Yeah, so our legal representation has just whispered in our ear that we shouldn't ask any more questions down that line. But I am interested, Nations, and this is something I've been wanting to ask for a while. DSQ is involved in both RSC EU and RSC SSA this season, even. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I just want to find out, and this is more for people watching as well, is that RSC is a global competition at this point, born out of Europe, but it's in NA, it's in SSA, and I know Arch was saying that there was even a possible trip to Asia at some point. So, given the fact that RSC is the standardized uniform competition, there must be some differences between RSC EU, RSC SSA. Is there anything that you've picked up on, anything that you've noticed about RSC SSA that differs?
Choose your answers wisely.
From what I said before, the community is it's very loving. A new person come into the RSC SSA and be picked up by anybody, have a laugh, join a team, even now the Silver's running the free agent scrims, have some fun warming up with getting to know the community. With EU, if you're a new player, you don't really get recognised unless you are a very good player or you're very active. If you get what I'm saying, so you can come into SSA, not a clue what's going on. You just enjoy playing Rocket League. You just enjoy the love for it, and everybody can talk to you. Everyone's friendly. Whereas in EU, I'm following a Moan sword here. There is a lot of egotistical players in Europe who are sitting at say 1100 MMR, but think they can beat Zen from Team Vitality. So that's the complete difference. Whereas I feel SSA are a very tightly knit community. EU is more broad, but the difference is as well. I think the EU has more of a has a bigger competitive scene than SSA, but I can see SSA up and coming. For instance, I can see all the competitive esports. It's not just including Rocket League; it's including your Siege, your Valorant, all these big organizations that are picking up SSA teams and bringing it up.
Wow.
And with what you guys are doing with RSC SSA, it is battling EU, and that isn't me being like, oh, because I'm on your podcast and be friendly and all that stuff. You guys are what you guys are doing right now with SSA is a light in the darkness for sometimes in EU.
Wow.
So that I appreciate, and it's a nice feeling come from EU with all the stress and bickering from there to come into SSA and no stress and just love basically, and it's a nice feeling. So appreciate it.
I wish I received some of that.
Yeah, I know. Sean,
Yeah,
Sean,
no.
Sean is sitting there shaking his head like, are we talking about the same community? What's going on here?
I see that Friday has responded to our meeting request, and he says, "I'm too busy building rosters. Sorry." But also he says, and you can comment on this, maybe, Nations. He says SSA still hasn't hit the super competitive period yet, so it is still fresh and fun. So, do you think that RSC SSA is going to, follow the same sort of track that RSC EU has with regards to its competitive level, or do you think we're just built different?
In a way, I kind of hope you don't reach the super competitive period that EU do, because it gets to the point where so the difference in EU and SSA is there's EU has 2 games per week, whereas SSA have 1, right? With the 1 game a week, it's more fun and enjoyable instead of the stress of you need to schedule 2 games during the week, you have to set up scrims, and there's teams that they're not playing for the sake of playing Rocket League, they're playing for the sake of wanting a wee gold trophy next to their name in the Discord, and they will stop at nothing. They will bring down people behind them, they'll bring down people around them just to attain that gold trophy. Whereas in
Sounds like someone
SSA,
I know.
Yeah, Sean.
It isn't me. He's in the chat and he knows who he is.
whereas I was going to say SSA, it's all about being part of something. join a team, and I guarantee like there's many teams in here that couldn't care if they finish last, but want to be part of a team and want to be playing every day, not every day, but every week, and actually doing this. Plus, with EU, and I've just seen Friday put it, I was just about to talk about it. With EU, it's more strict, it's more combined, it's more to a rule book. Whereas SSA, it's more, let's have fun. We're going to have enjoyment. There's no point of stressing and having, dark circles under our eye before before we go to bed at night. It's more, let's have fun with the league and see what it takes us, and take a new light to things. Whereas EU, it's like it feels like a bit robotic sometimes. So that's the nice fresh feeling.
Well, there we go. That's a culture we got to look to. I mean, at the same time, I think we do. Well, we want to get more competitive, but not lose that sense of community and culture. And I think that is going to be our challenge going forward. I do love, though, Nations, that with your accent, it sounded like you said egotistical players.
Egotistical.
Egotistical players. All right, let's look at week 6. Week 6 for Elite, and the bro community in Elite doing pretty well. DSQ up there, but not enjoying premium placement as they are in Prospect and Rival.
I suppose this is my turn, or do you want to take this?
No, go, Sean.
All right. Well, Elite was an eventful a week, I suppose. There was like one draw, I think. There was a 4-0, which was Bro taking on Montbéliard, which is roughly the newly built Unitox roster, where they got Moose and Sponsor Bobbers and Emexi on that roster. So it's quite a strong roster. So to see Prototype take a 4-0 win against them is huge already. So it's like quite scary if you think about it in the long run. Then we have Delta Force losing 3-1 to Ostrom. Ostrom doing very well over there on their side. Because when they unfortunately lost Genie K earlier on in the season, we were kind of worried about them in a certain sense. Well, I was. Because Genie K was quite a pivotal point for DSQ at that time. I know Flosey was very upset about it.
No, I could see Tubbsy and Tubbsy and Flosey talking about it in chat, saying that they were robbed, and they feel sad about it. But do you know what? I think this is very, very important to mention, is that Genie got promoted. DSQ was not punished. The player themselves deserved to play in the rank that they currently were, and I think he gained something like 170 MMR, in a very short period of time. So in normal cases, we would have left it because, you're supposed to get better as a player. That's the whole point. That's why we're all here. But when you improve like that, it just shows what your true potential is and where you should be playing. And in order to keep the playing field level for everybody, that was an unfortunate decision we had to make. But I also think it was the right decision for Genie, because now he can play with players at his skill level, which I think is vital. So at the end of the day, rough call for you, Nation. Sorry about that. But I think that, for the betterment of the league and, for all the players involved, it was the right decision.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Ostrom is still going strong. They're sitting third on the table. It's not like it has affected them
2
much
points
at all.
behind. It's still tight and very close.
I think they picked up 1K. I'm not too sure who they got them from. Was it from Order of Oaks? I can't remember. I remember it was a transfer from one of the rosters. I'm not too sure.
I believe it was 1K of some Order of Oaks, and we have recently signed Silent OSK.
Silent OSK.
So we signed him from Frizzy. It was just a more of a comfortable feeling we wanted for Flossie, because, as you say, we're losing Genie. I'm not afraid to say it, and if Flossie wants to DM me and scream at me, I don't care. Genie was the pivotal point. He was the carry in that team, and when he got moved up to Master, Flossie Flossie didn't know what to do with himself. He started panicking. And I think him and Frizzy kept it going, but then he tried out Silent and went, we prefer playing with them. It's such a better atmosphere. And since then, they played against Delta Force, and as you can see, the results are shown.
Yeah. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool to see that after a roster change like that to come out with a good result. And, truly, Delta Force is a good team. They might not be in the top tables, but they've posted 3 dubs. They've won half of their games, which means they are a good team. So I think that is a good result for DSQ.
Yes, exactly. Prowler's Darkness. Yeah, what's up?
No, I was going to talk about Queens, but carry on with your breakdown.
Prowler's Darkness was actually a game I would have loved to have watched, to be fair, because those 2 rosters are quite strong as well. Shadow Darkness coming out really strong in the beginning of season. Prowlers with Minotaur on that team was also surprisingly really strong, and I think everybody underestimated what they were capable of doing. So to see those 2 somewhat giants go head to head, and then clearly they drew. So
yeah,
so definitely 2 teams we have to keep an eye on. Then we had Queens versus Centurions, which we got to play against. Friday. We did give them at least 1 game so that we didn't feel too bad. Partly was my fault, but it is what it is. I'm the trash bag on that team, so it's okay. But we came Rabbit, Chase, and Tim Tam came strong in the first 2 games, scoring I think 6 goals to 1 or 2 conceded or something like that. So it was really cool to watch. Then Rawlers coming out strong against Swift with a 3-1 win over there. Evening out the table. But as we see, the tops, well, apart from the 6th place, which is us, the top 5 teams, they're all very close together.
Well, listen, even really the top 7, if you think about that, there's 12 games left and 5 points separating 7th and 1st. I mean, that's
huge.
That's quite a table. To a lot of fighting still to be done there.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. I don't even know who's going to be the top 6 by the end of week 9. I don't know who's going to be sitting in the top 2. It could literally just go either way at this point in time. It's been Elite has been so close. Elite has been so close.
Queens in 6th with 1 win can move up to 2nd.
Yes, literally.
Yeah,
depending on
just
how
1 win. 1 win.
And we're still yet to play Prowlers.
So there we go. There we go.
You could bring them down a peg or 2, Sean. All right, let's move on. Let's move on up to Master.
And I think Master is one of those things where you have it's always wildly inconsistent because they're Master players. Some don't give time, some give all the time. And so you generally see the biggest points disparities in Master. And just having a look here, look, there's 9 points separating first and last.
Yeah.
And even that isn't terrible. And given the fact that there's 3 points separating 10th and 6th, which means a single victory is enough to take 10th place to 6th place. So I think, and this is just something I've been noticing for RSC as a whole, is that all of the teams are getting a little bit more competitive, because by this time last season there were some people who stood no chance. And there's still some downtrodden teams, but mathematically all of them can still take a post. And just having a look at some of the results here, we've seen a sweep by Abyss on Devourers. Devourers a little bit maligned, haven't taken a win, but they've posted 4 draws, which means against half of the league they've been pretty competitive. And Kings putting a good victory over Professors. I can see Kings haven't lost a game either. 4 victories, 2 draws. They haven't lost.
That was a game that they were very nervous for, because it was Eliakim, Zany, Breezy, and Yoshi
Yeah.
on that bro roster, and Olympic was I remember he was quite. I mean, he mentioned it last week in the podcast when he was on here, that they were kind of scared of what that team was going to be able to do because there's some well-known players that are on that roster. And then they came off with a 3-1 win, and we were all screaming in the chat and singing for the hills.
But it's also really important to note here that there is only one loss, one singular loss between all top 4 teams combined. And that is by the Four Templar Sovereigns. Otherwise, all of them are undefeated. So we're talking about 100 games played. And, I'm trying to think, 6 times 4 is 24. So 23 victories, series victories, and 1 loss between the top 4 teams. So I think out of all of them, this is going to be the hardest one to spot because I don't want to take any bets on who's going to be finishing first and second because that is absolutely nuts. Sovereign can still make it through. There's 4 points separating fourth and first. One game. That's it. And there's still 3 games left.
So
I do believe Kings take on Alpha Force this week.
Well, let's have a look.
Let's have a
week
look.
7. Alpha Force indeed. Oh my word. Top 2 battle. Yo.
And it's on Thursday. Are we streaming
and
that one?
I think they booked it with
Graded for us. Yes, we are. They are. We are streaming this game on Thursday, 7:45. That will be that matchup.
And just remind me, who's on the Kings roster and who's on the Alpha Force roster?
Kings roster is Tweaks, Mark, Happy Meal, and Olympic. Alpha Force is Friction, Lackstar, Bigfoot.
Ooh, that is huge. That is a huge result. I can't wait to watch that. And that is going to be streamed on Thursday. Chat. If you want to see the Clash of the Titans, top of the table, it's going to be Titanic. I'm excited already, and it's only Monday. I needed that.
What are
your thoughts on that?
Sorry, go ahead. Were you throwing to Nations?
Yeah, Nations, what are your thoughts on the Master tier this season, hey?
Undefeated.
The Master team.
Undefeated.
They're undefeated, yes, but this season, let's just say they got into their heads a little bit too much. Playing against Ballers, they were at the bottom, obviously Ballers at the bottom of the table. They came into thinking it's going to be an easy win. I'm not going to bite around the bush they did, but I said to them after the game when they drew, I said, you never go into a game with that mindset of, it's free, easy W. Because every team has the opportunity to upset. You'll never have a team that will always win. They'll go, for instance, like 10-0-0. There is never a team that'll go 10-0-0. There'll be a draw somewhere. They'll drop somewhere. They'll lose, and it could be a major upset. For instance, the entire league, playing the entire league, you want to do your best, but at the same time, you need to stay consistent. And I think that's where they lost it during the week, and that was their issue.
That's fair. That is the. Hey, we just.
Hey, we got some bit from Splashy.
Hey,
is it from Splashy?
Yeah.
I'm amazed you can read that. It's so tiny on my screen. Okay, wow, thanks for the bit, Splashy. And there's more. There's more. It's raining cash in here. Oh, my word.
Yeah, he's throwing bits at us. I love it. It's
throwing
like make it rain.
He's throwing like $1 at us.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in thick.
Okay,
is this 1 bit at a time? Oh my word!
Yeah, he's throwing us 1 bit at a time. We're like strippers. He's putting dollar bills in our G-strings right now.
I can see I'm going to have to mute that in a moment.
But it's not something we do very often, is looking at the upcoming games, and I think that's definitely something we should add, especially heading into the business end of the season, and knowing that Kings versus Alpha Force is going to be absolutely versus we're back on week 6, but it is Kings versus Alpha Force, coming up, and let's just have a quick look at the fixtures coming up so that you guys can know what you can look forward to, especially at master level. It's Abyss versus Professors, not as vital, but they're both on the same amount of games won between 5th and 7th, which is absolutely wild. Merrim's looking at a good fixture against Velocity. Hopefully they can take it. And it is Sovereigns versus Nguni, another mid-table thing. But again, only 2 points separating, so that's going to be massive. So that's going to be played on Wednesday. So by the time that's played, we'll see where the Kings versus Alpha Force game sits. And I think that's going to be pretty cool as well.
Definitely. Right, I suppose we could see franchise standings.
Yeah, let's have a look-see.
Yeah, sorry, I was just I'm turning off these alerts because it's driving me nuts. and I don't know if the audio is still going through to stream or not. You can let me know. I'm still getting it in my ears, but it's
no, we're not hearing any of it. It's all good.
But
if you're hearing it on stream,
if they're hearing it or not. Oh my word! Okay, let's get on with it. Let's get back here and let's move on to the franchises. What does this all mean for the franchise standings?
And this is actually a good one to throw to Nations, because it's actually a question I wanted to ask you. We ask this of, every franchise general manager, but for you specifically coming into the season and maybe even now reflecting on it, who were the franchises when you looked at their rosters, you were like, these are the franchises we're going up against? Because, you're currently sitting pretty at top, but who have you been on the lookout for?
I've been looking out for Bruv and Critical Force. I took him under my wing last season, and I think he's took a little bit too much more for me. And he's built a few rosters, and he beat I think my elite team in pre-season final. So he's one. His roster is one to look out for. Obviously, Dynasty run by your man Truly. He's always had a very consistent run with organizations, and Bro's always been a very staple community. I'm quite surprised at where they're standing right now, but I'm sure they'll regain.
It is actually pretty interesting because there's 10 points separating first and fourth. Given that there's a maximum of 16 points a week that each franchise can win, and it is interesting to see. Four Templars, historically not done too well in season 1. I don't think they did great either. Unity also featured, pretty heavily last season. I think they did okay. But what I love to see, and this is pretty cool, is that Critical Force and XP are making their debuts this season. They have never been in RSC before. And, these are new franchises, and they are sitting in 3rd and 5th respectively. So that is really, really cool to see. And just having a look at, the goal difference is that DSQ is sitting on a positive of 75, Dynasty on 92. They've scored almost 100 goals more than they've conceded. So you Dynasty chaps, you must be pretty smug at this point. But
I mean, we went Clax is probably doing most of those.
The second week in a row, we went 4-0 in our games. So,
nice.
And XP, a positive goal difference of 38, almost 40 goals more than they've conceded, and they're sitting in 5th. So that is really, really cool. I feel sorry for 6th and downwards. Shadow is still having a better season than they did last.
Yes.
With mid-table, and that's definitely improvement, but shame Unitox, Redirect, and Fort Templar are getting a bit of a hammering, and it's never too late to turn it around, but it is looking pretty ominous at this point. And I think it must be noted that if you're having a look, out of all the games played, DSQ has played 96 games. They've won 65 of them, which means they are winning 2 out of every 3 games they play, across the board. So Nations, you must be, commended. Flocy, I hate giving him praise, but well done. it is, DSQ has been very dominant, and Dynasty has also put in a massive showing, 3 games difference. And that can't be understated either. That doesn't come out of nowhere. So I know we don't hype up Dynasty very, very often because Sean is smug enough. But Clever Rabbit, Sean, you guys have also been doing an absolute bang up job, and it's very, very cool to see the rivalry between DSQ and Dynasty leading into these last 3 weeks. I think it's awesome.
I mean, Dynasty Season 1 wasn't that fantastic, but it was just Clever Rabbit on his own, and he actually has a lot of insight in the community, which is fantastic. So him and I are kind of like we work very well together, which I really like. So I've been really enjoying the season as an AGM as well.
He's become a cleverer rabbit.
He is a clever rabbit. He's a very clever rabbit.
All right, Vagaro, I know I turned off the alerts, but thanks for the gifted sub. That's rock and roll, man. Thank you so much. And that's been gifted to Jock. I don't know who that is, but he gifted it to someone there. Well done. Now, we're going to get on to the players of the week, and I think we got to pick up the pace of this, gentleman. So that's the end of the player database. Let's get on to players of the week. And we start with Prospect.
Sean, that's your bad boy.
Yeah, no, that was Sean's cue. It was like, and Prospect.
And Sean.
I love bringing down. I just find it so funny because I bring down.
Hold on, I actually realized, Bromeo, I think you're supposed to be doing Prospect and Rival.
Yes,
I mean, I can do that, and I just want to have a look at this logo that I'm currently seeing.
No, this maybe should be Nations.
No, but first of all, let's just talk about Rakiel's logo. Where is that from?
Free agent. That's a free agent logo.
Is that a free agent logo? I love that.
That's a fallen angel.
It's a fallen angel. It's a fallen angel logo.
Wow, that is so epic.
So imagine making player of the week only for your team to cut you.
He was no. He wasn't cut. He actually was a free agent he played as a free agent for Bro.
You got something.
Yeah.
So, Bro picking up a dub on the back of Rakiel. Anybody in Prospect looking to pick up a carry, please note that this man does not have a team, and you should pick him up now. And he got MVP for most points in a game. He clocked almost 500 points per game, and he even beat out Clerks, who wasn't even on his Smurf account this time. So, Creven are coming in third as well. Had an absolute banger. I can't remember if he was playing against us. I don't think he was. But having a look at goals per game, Atomic Bomb having a banger of a season for DSQ, followed by Creven and Matthew. You can't read this very clearly because somehow he just loves making his name as long as it needs to be. But this is Demonics playing out of DSQ. He picked up the shooting percentage and playmaker assist per game. And then following behind them, Slowpokes with a shooting percentage of 66%, playing for XP and Creven as well. And then Alex DeFatak, former of DSQ, but now of Unitox, picking up 1.25 assists per game, which is pretty good. And then saves per game. Ara, out of Bro, picking up 2.5 saves per game in this last week. And coming back on that 3-1 dub, which was really, really good for them. And then a creative for Order of Oaks, making 2 saves. And Rakiel, the man, the fallen angel himself, picking up 1.75 saves per game. So well done to him.
All right. And then moving on to Raval.
This is going to be an interesting one because I see a whole bunch of Bro logos, but then having a look, it just looks like the Fancy Lizard show, given the fact that he posted an average of 525 points per game, followed by Color Cold, who was also in Bro. So they had an absolute barnstorm of a session. Mr. Green coming from Order of Oaks. He's also featuring in finishes, but finishing at the top of goals per game is Ace, with 2.5 goals a game, which is massive.
Formerly of Fort Templar Ace.
Oh, shame. Yeah, this is sorry Friday. I know we're maligning you a lot this this episode.
We're just highlighting the roughness of the season.
Yeah, Ace is prospering, in case you were wondering.
Oh God.
But
Please
Color
give
Cold
me a
coming
break.
in.
That's fine.
with-
Your break starts now.
His shooting percentage at 70%. So Color Cold having a really, really great game. And having a look at Playmaker, assists per game, Scope picking up 1.25, Domino tie with him on 1.25, and Wavy coming in at 1. And then obviously saves per game, Fancy Lizard, we've mentioned already, 3.5 saves per game. Absolutely nuts. This guy was sticking to a goal. I mean, who does 4 saves every single game over 4 games? That is wild. But anyway,
But
those are your rivals this week.
So if we shout, I just want to shout out, and you got to say his full name, Look Mom Scope, because that name still makes no sense to me. But part of the rebuilt roster in the rival Fort Templar, and I like, he's a player I've run into in lobbies and so on, and I think he's a great addition to the team, and getting into the limelight immediately with Playmakers. So I'm very pleased to see that.
Yeah, no, very well played by him.
And that, now we almost skipped right over Elite. So, players of the week for Elite, Sean.
Well, clearly you could
look
see
at
who
those
the better
logos.
team was.
What is going on? Oh my.
Clearly we know who the better team was this week.
Guys, you just need to fix your sound because of all of the back padding. I can't hear you talking.
Oh my word! Sorry, Brady in chat has just cleared this up for me on what Look Mom Scope means. Because when he scores a goal, it says "Look, Mom Scope scored." Ah,
I love
get
that.
it now.
I love that.
I get it
I love
now.
that.
Oh my word! Thank you, Brady.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny when Greybeard figures this stuff out. Like it.
Oh no! When the penny drops, it drops hard.
I'm still pressed about Charizard, but it's okay.
Oh my! Okay, jeez.
Truly, that was an unforgivable sin. But sure, we've got time that we need to clear through. Elite, tell us about it.
This week, Dynasty Queens obviously had a fantastic series this week with Clever Rabbit and Chase all featuring with golds over here in our players of the week. So Clever Rabbit doing 738 points per game this series.
Nuts. That is absolutely
which he only played.
Nuts.
He only played 2 games as well, just to give you more insight into that.
So that just means he dominated in the 2 that he played. You know, that doesn't make a good thing.
He's a menace. He's a monster, and he still scored only 3 goals per game as well. So he was just
a hat trick.
He was just fantastic, you know. And don't be salty, Bromeo. Just move on, okay?
And Friday, we're trying to give you a break, but you keep arriving in chat. How are we supposed to miss you if you won't leave us alone?
No, and he said Chase is a former player for Fort Templar as well.
Yeah.
You know, featuring very heavily on this list as well.
Yeah,
but,
sorry, Friday. Necessary evil, you know, necessary evil.
Sure. The player I feel bad for is Mercury because, you know, everyone's talking about Clever Rabbit, but he wasn't too far behind.
You know, Mercury at the end of the day, he's actually such a good player, and honestly, I do see him probably reaching Master next season. Because
he featured in a 1v1 in one of the weekly 1v1 qualifiers playing against Guns. And he was terribly nervous and kind of freaking out. In fact, Guns got into a call with him and said, "Bro, just calm down, like just go out there." And he got beaten, and you know, Guns is very good, but I was very impressed with Mercury in that series.
Definitely an up and coming player. I would say in South Africa especially, like people need to keep watch on this player, honestly. Spaker putting in a 70% shooting percentage, getting gold over there. Silent Osk featuring on this list as well for shooting percentage, Mr. Nations, as well as in Playmaker with a 1.5 over there. Swerve as well, which is a teammate of Mercury, putting in 1.5 in terms of assists for Playmaker. Minotaur putting in 2.25 saves, which is pretty much the same as Chase as well. So, but unfortunately, we can't have ties
and
for first place.
Demexi on 2.25. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is just, we can't even call it in alphabetical order at this point. So I don't know what determines that exactly. It could be like a small little points.
Falcon,
Love to see him not go on the
Falcon, who is Banshee?
Yeah, no, we want to talk about this. Banshee's in chat right now. He says, I still don't know what's going on, but I would like to figure it out over a coffee, Sean.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
Moving on swiftly.
No.
1K. No.
We'll wait.
1K on 54.55% over here with the showing for striking percentage, with Chase also doing as well as Clever Rabbit with a 576.25.
All right.
Can we go to Master now, please?
Are we not talking about the coffee date?
Yeah, Banshee, I'm sorry. Sean is putting you in the friend zone. We will follow this up for you because you deserve love too.
Okay, moving along to Master Players of the Week. Anyone?
Okay, so am I covering Master for this one too? Does Nations want to cover Master? Or
he can cover MVP.
He can cover. Does he want to do Team of the Week then?
Yes. I'll do Team of the Week. You do Master.
All right. So Master was also very cool because Serenity finally got picked up. He was an FA before. So him showing up with the 2.5 goals per game for redirect, which is fantastic. Foxen, which is also, I'm not sure if he's a PFA or an FA, but I think he might be PFA. He might actually be just FA. But I can't remember who he played for as an FA, for which team, but him putting in an 85.71% shooting percentage, which is fantastic. So we'll have to double check if he's in FA or not. So maybe some rosters need to take a look at him. Serenity had a great week, honestly. I mean, he's got a 576.25 in points per game, sitting second there comfortably, as well as a 55.56% with shooting percentage. So definitely had a stellar week this week. Yes, Bromeo. I feel like you want to ask me a question.
No. I just want to say Faxon played for Order of Oaks this week in their game against DSQ.
Oh, yes, he must have replaced Werty. Okay, because I think Faxon is quite an expensive player. So that's fantastic. I mean, he did very well. Gold Ninja putting in 608 points per game, which is huge. He's been such a solid foundation of their team, should we say? Gold Ninja we've known for a while in the SS scene, especially. Daps being a fantastic savior for his team, putting in 3.75 saves per game, which is fantastic. And then Kexi having another showing, and he's an EU player, I believe. So to still see him consistently showing up on Players of the Week, he must be doing very well and not having any problems with the ping. So it's very cool to see. And then we have Devour having a showing. Yep.
Kexi was on Trifecta, am I right, Greybeard?
Yes.
And then 2/3 rule. I think that was the team, yeah. So RLCS Pro right here, featuring heavily in RSC. Love to see it.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, that's how we got involved really with SSA, was through the region chaos of last season.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
All right. Well, so I got a request for Nations while you're presenting Team of the Week, whatever screen you're on now, stay on that screen. It throws a nice amount of light on your face.
Right, okay. If I'm being honest, because you guys were saying I've got no light, I'm on YouTube with a white screen for 10 hours, so I got a brighter light.
Oh my word, that's so clever. That's brilliant. Well, it's working. It's working very well. All right, so Nations, we have Team of the Week.
So, starting off with Prospect is my lovely boy, Dominic starting in Cassia, who swept Obscurity this week. Outstanding performance by himself. Very happy for him. Now in Rival, you've got Fancy Lizard playing under the likes of Prolific, who, pardon me, also had a tough game, but drew 2 each with Nightfall, but had an outstanding performance in every other stat. So kudos to him. And needless to say, Clever Rabbit, he just pipped everybody else for Team of the Week in Elite this week, but an outstanding performance for himself. Carrying John, it's quite hard. And for Serenity, for Master, outstanding performance as well. I believe this is his first week playing in league play. Am I wrong in saying?
I think he's had some FA showings, but this is his he's been signed to a team.
Signed.
So that's his first signing. That's the league as a signed player. So great to see him on the board for redirect, and hopefully we can continue this for them and bring them back into level peggings.
Oh, really, really cool. And I love the team of the week, and I know we didn't do so hot with it last season. I'm so grateful we have it back because it allows us to spotlight, players like Serenity coming in and having a good showing, as well as Clever Rabbit, who's been doing such a great job at GM, and he's enjoying his Rocket League as well. So that's always really, really great to see.
And so there you go. Team of the week: Serenity, Clever Rabbit, Fancy Lizard, and to use the full title, Donald Demonics, You'll Never Walk Alone. There we go.
I didn't actually notice that, the YNWA.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned it in our last little meetup when we did a bro meetup, Greybeard was actually in attendance. Roll call was taken, so very glad to see him. But Demonic set up that, and I did hear that he was an ardent Liverpool supporter, so that makes so much sense. I always just thought it was Demonic C Nubla, and I can't believe I've never seen that. It's just like. Psh.
Well, we're clearing up all the names. The podcast, if nothing else, is clearing up the player names. Moving on from Team of the Week, next up, and Sean, this is your little segment, Transfers.
Yes, exciting stuff. So first we need to put in a disclaimer here for everybody, and especially the GMs and AGMs that are possibly in chat. Guys, this week is the last week you can do any transfers for your team.
So in the course of this week, so they've got this week up until Sunday.
Roster lock happens this Sunday, as it will be 2 weeks before the end of league play, guys. So please remember this. Make sure you finalize your rosters, as we will be shutting that down, and you will not be able to make any more changes, as it's been absolutely crazy this season, especially. So this season we had a couple transfers in Master, Elite, and Rival. Nothing in Prospect. Very quiet on that end, which is cool. I thought it would slow down coming towards roster lock, but clearly I was wrong. And you live to learn it again, I suppose. So in Rival, I'll start there. Friday decided to put together what he could in regards to his poor Rival roster, and he decided to sign Ranark, E, and Scope to his roster. I think where's Ranark? He is in SSA, I believe, but he's not South African.
I think he's Mauritian. I'd have to check.
I think he is Mauritian. E is an EU player, and Scope, obviously we know who Scope is. So they still need
scored.
Yeah.
Look, Mom scored.
They still need a fourth player, which I'm sure Friday is busy sorting out. So we'll find out more information regarding that probably in next week's podcast. Then in Elite, DSQ decided to release Freezy, as Nations mentioned a lot earlier. They signed Silent Osk, and which I believe there was Teach, which couldn't play anymore for Bro. So they had an open spot for that. So they decided to pick up Freezy when they saw he became available.
That actually was, very quick on the mark. I love seeing this released and then signed by another team, especially if it wasn't a trade, because people are clearly watching the transfer markets closely, and that has Kirika written all over it.
Oh yeah, she was on it like super fast. I'm not even gonna lie. Then in Critical Force side, they have released Calamanton, which we all used to know as Velocity Neonics. To which they have now signed Lemons to their roster.
Wow, Lemons. Well, he must have been in the free agent pool. I haven't seen him anywhere.
Yes, he was, and there was a lot of speculation around him because we weren't sure if he wanted to remain FA, if he was going to even be able to participate this season. So now to see him actually signed to a roster, it's very cool to see.
Yes.
Yep. Then on the master side, Redirect made their choice of cutting LDC, which is an EU player, and then picking up Serenity, which I do think was a good idea because Serenity always features on Players of the Week whenever he does participate in a league series. So very, very exciting for Serenity over there.
That's actually somebody who I feel like having a chat with again sometime soon. Very interesting dude, LDC. I remember chatting with him on your podcast a couple months ago, Greybeard. We did a analysis of, I think it was Team Mobula versus Limitless, and LDC assisted with that. So a very knowledgeable coach coming out of EU.
Cosmico coach, I think.
Yeah.
Cosmico coach, yeah.
So would actually love to chat to him. So chat, if you guys are interested in hearing from LDC himself, let us know and we'll interview him. He might not want to chat to us now that Redirect have released him.
Got to, but
So Hazza, please have a word with your boys. But yeah, very, very cool.
Roster changes wrapped up for the week, and so there'll be only one more segment on roster changes if they are during the course of this week, because it closes roster lock this Sunday, and that brings us to Clip of the Week. Clip of the Week is run by Unity out of their Discord, and there's a 150 Rand prize for the clip which is voted best of the week. There's a theme each week, and you submit your clips into their Discord. It's then voted on for the top 3, and number 1 gets that 150 Rand. So it is open to everybody. So if you have a clip that fits the theme, get it in there. Next week's clip, the one coming up, is going to be single resets. Last week's clip, ending yesterday, was redirects, and we will bring you the top 3 redirects of last week, starting with number 3. Oh, before I play it, so the first one is we got the vertical shot. Nothing we can do about that. We got it in vertical, and I don't think there's sound on this one, but here it is.
I'll just squint.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
Very nice.
That was a Yoshi shot. Nicely done.
That was a Yoshi shot. Now, I'm going to play it again because we didn't get the replay of it. I just have a question, because I think a couple of these redirects are redirected from like self-passes off the wall. Does that still count as a redirect?
Yeah, that counts. Yeah,
it does
redirect shot.
There isn't another name for it.
Just because you're getting action from something you did yourself, it means it still counts. I mean, yeah.
Okay, Bromeo. Fine. I can see this. I can see this is settling an entirely different argument for Bromeo as well. But okay. All right. Well, let's have a look at Yoshi's redirect once more. That was tight
very
angle.
clean.
Not bad at all. So that was 3rd place, and then in 2nd place.
10.606 seconds. I got past the
Scoreboard. Love it.
Scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yo, what is this ping?
This is a long clip. Oh, there it is.
Holy shit!
And
Very
Aoki.
nice.
Aoki, my word. Okay, I hope there's a replay. We do have the replay. Here it goes. Yo!
Might it just be said that he was prospect last season, so calm down.
Isn't he prospect? He's still playing in prospect.
No, he's rival.
Oh, did he move up to rival? Okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. Please, somebody put him in elite now before we get complaints in our DMs.
Wow. That was well. There you go. Nicely done, Aoki. And then
that was really cool.
The number 1 clip of the week. The winner is this one.
I got him. Whoa!
Ooh.
So we posting clip of the week.
He's been in chat tonight, and okay, and paid us. I think paid us 50 bits one at a time, which was wonderful. So
It was actually like 90.
Yes. So we didn't see the replay, but there's no replay in the clip, so we're going to have to watch it again. Here it is.
I got him.
Whoa!
Whoa!
And I'm sorry.
So we posting clip of the week.
That looked from a speed. We'll see the speed. 118. 118 k's an hour.
I got him. Whoa!
Yo.
So we posting clip of the
Slashy,
week.
you're in chat. Was that calculated?
No. The flip was, the angle was crazy.
You're absolutely disgusting, but well done to you. Enjoy that money. I would have loved to see that killer code redirect from that. So remember, kids, if you score an outstanding goal during the week, go onto the Unity server and submit your clip, because or just keep it aside, because you could have been $150 richer. And nobody would have ever known, because there are some crazy goals every week. And I do think moving forward, we will try to get some of these goals in on the show, but only if you submit them into the channel so that we can have a look. But otherwise, well done, Splashy. That was a cracker of a goal.
And he does say that for real, it was calculated. So we will have to take his word for it. The theme for the upcoming week is single flip resets. So get out there, get your single flip resets, get them submitted into Unity's Discord. And gentlemen, I think that brings us to the end of episode 8 of Just Saying.
Is there? But my mom said we could stay later.
I'm hungry.
and Complex's mom is insisting we end. So so we have conflicting needs.
But I really had a good time tonight. And Nations, I've got one more question for you just before we throw you back into the masses. Given that you're having an absolute barn stomping season so far, my last question to you is that if somebody in chat, if somebody wants to become a GM, start their own franchise, what little words of wisdom would you give them to say it's doable, and to possibly emulate your successes so far?
The very broad question I can go into, but I'll keep it simple, is commitment, passion, and patience. You're going to start your own organization. You're not going to blow up as soon as you open it. It's going to be slow. Once you start reaching out and maybe apply, like Silver should have done, but it was a bit late, and apply for SSA, get into these organizations, get into these leagues, expand your community. That comes with the patience. The commitment is you need to consistently look and consistently show that you're willing to help, you're willing to be friendly, you're just willing to be open to anybody comes in. You're not closed off to anybody. Results, they won't come naturally. You might, I can't see you have a team that will instantly stomp a team. For instance, I had a team in another league that went 1-15, and
wow,
it was called the Canaan's Curse, right? Because that team destroyed my mental trying to teach them how to play Rocket League, and it didn't work. So when it comes to patience and time, you need to have the patience to watch the organization grow and flourish, but also have the time to put in effort for it. As the best saying I've ever heard was, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time. It takes plenty of weeks, months, even years to build a community back up to where it is. But once you reach that level and you have a community and a loving, passionate people who are willing to put in the effort around you as well, then it eases off and you can sit back and relax and look back and go, this is something I've created. But for now, the first step is clicking create server. That's the first step. As I said, you'll never know unless you try, and that's the beauty of it.
And like with everything, success comes through persistence over time. You just keep going through the ups, the downs, the losses, the gains. Just keep taking the next step and grinding. And Nations, thank you very much for coming to join us. I hope hanging out with us wasn't too traumatic. I hope you had a good time, and it's been a pleasure having you. And to Falcon, as always, a little grumpier than usual, but great having you as always. And and Bromeo, a slept Bromeo, which a slept Bromeo is a lot more fun Bromeo. So I appreciate that. That's that was good. I don't feel like you're being push started the entire time. So that was pretty good. And from me, Greybeard, we are gonna go and raid RSC EU, who look like they are doing week 9 of league play over in EU. So we're going to go and say how's it to them. Tell them that RSC SSA sent you. And we are now done until this Thursday. This Thursday, 4 games will be streamed. And this time we have 2 master tier games, 1 prospect and 1 rival. Elite. No one showed up from Elite this week, but we're going to bring you those banger games on Thursday. So from all of us, see you again on Thursday. Peace. It did raid, right? Or are we all standing, or are we all staring awkwardly on stream? Still here.
We're still here. This is the post-credit scene, the Marvel post-credit scene.
This is where we show the bloopers. We show the bloopers, which is like all of our stream. Why? No, it said it's used. It must have gone.
No, I can definitely still see me there.
Are we all still here? This is so awesome.
There's like a bar counting down for the raid to happen. Can you not just force it?
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It's supposed to just go. It's supposed to just go.
Oh, that was great.
My
Thank you.
word.